What if a titan in an established industry decided to completely reinvent a foundational product? Not just, a simple upgrade, but with 18 groundbreaking brand new patents.
Yeah.
Get ready, because what we're about to unpack is, well, it's one of the most earth-shaking developments we've seen in the world of horology in years.
Exactly. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the buzz-generating, all-new Rolex Land-Dweller.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission, really, is to unpack what makes this watch such a milestone day for Rolex, going beyond just the hype,
All right.
and really reveal the incredible engineering and design breakthroughs that set it apart.
It's not really normal for Rolex to launch an entirely new collection like this.
Not at all.
I mean, we just had the 1908 2 years ago, and the Sky Dweller before that. This isn't just a tweaked model. It's a completely new watch, inside and out.
And that new escapement system, that's really being called big news.
Yeah.
It's the first at this scale since, Omega's coaxial, maybe 25 years ago?
Wow. It's particularly interesting to consider the lineage here. I mean, if you're like us, you're probably curious about what truly makes something innovative in a field as, traditional as watchmaking.
Right. You want the real substance.
Exactly. So this deep dive is designed to give you just that, the surprising facts, the aha moments about a watch that's, frankly, already making history without getting bogged down in jargon.
Okay, so where do we start? The look.
Let's start where everyone's eye naturally goes first.
Yeah.
The Land-Dweller's immediate visual impact. That angular case and integrated bracelet profile. It instantly evokes, a specific Rolex style. The Oysterquartz.
A beloved one, if a bit less common.
It's a striking callback.
And the history there is pretty key, actually. The Oysterquartz, it came out of that 1969 Beta 21 quartz movement. Remember that consortium? Like 24 brands involved.
Well, right, great.
And that movement first showed off Rolex's integrated bracelet format, which then led to the Ref. 1630, that was an automatic, but with that distinctive angular case and bracelet. And then that evolved into the Oysterquartz proper, Rolex's first serially produced quartz watch.
I actually have a bit of a personal connection to that design. My father, he wore an Oysterquartz when he was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he passed it down to my older brother, who still wears it today. So you could say I've got a soft spot for that look.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how Rolex has sort of re-embraced it here.
Well, it's clear that heritage was a jumping-off point. But the Land-Dweller really innovates on it. They didn't just, copy the integrated look.
Oh.
They engineered a new Jubilee bracelet totally from scratch, just for this watch.
Right.
And that tells you a lot about their commitment, making every piece feel purpose-built.
And it really changes the feel on the wrist, doesn't it? This new Jubilee, it's not just a cosmetic change. It's like micro-engineering on display.
How so?
It's got this flat link design, flows super smoothly from the case. And the brushing, get this, it's this insanely precise vertical brushing that follows the angular drop-off from the case to the bracelet.
Okay, nice detail.
Then you've got a polished case line. Exterior link chamfers are polished. Interior links polished too. But here's the subtle genius, I think. The outer links are broader. Inner links narrower, tocks are flat, and the center links are just subtly raised, making a whole new profile like that from scratch. That's way harder than it looks.
It really is. Which kind of raises the question, why put so much effort into a bracelet?
Good point. Why?
Because it's one of the very first things you notice, right? It directly hits your perception of quality and definitely comfort.
True.
This one tapers down to a crown clasp. The one on older Datejusts, current day date.
Familiar, yeah. The only slight drawback maybe is no micro adjustment like EasyLink.
That's the trade-off, yeah. But the attachment system itself is super sophisticated. It's like a 10-component system. Get this. Ceramic tubes housing the spring bar.
Ceramic. Why?
To cut down on wear and tear over time.
Yeah.
So yeah, for Rolex to go to this length for a totally new bracelet, it just underlines how important they think that whole wear experience is.
Okay, moving off the bracelet for a sec. The sizes. Classic Rolex move here. 36 millimeters and 40 millimeter.
Just like the day-date.
Exactly. And it seems positioned really strategically within their classics lineup. The non-professional watches, like right between the Datejust and the Day-Date, they almost carved out a new slot for it.
Yeah, it feels deliberate. And both sizes, they wear incredibly well. Surprisingly thin, actually.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, the 36 millimeter is probably my personal sweet spot, but the 40 millimeter steel model I tried, it was actually a Rolser model.
The two-tone, white gold bezel, steel case and bracelet.
That's the one. Even that impressed me. So that strategic placement helps you understand its role. It's offering something distinctly new in that classic category.
And speaking of classic Rolex features,
yeah,
the bezel. Iconic fluted bezel, right? But again with a twist.
How is it different?
Well, a classic Day-Date has 72 flutes. The 1908 dress watch has like 180. The Land-Dweller. A redesigned set of 60 flutes. And they really catch the light beautifully, and they work perfectly with that sloped chapter ring. Almost pulls your eye right into the dial.
Interesting. 60 flutes.
Yeah, it's subtle, maybe, but it's an impactful change. Just screams attention to detail.
And the dimensions, you mentioned it feels thin.
Super precise. Both sizes are 9.6 millimeters thick. Case height, that is. Lug to lug is different, obviously. 36 millimeters is 43.5 millimeters. 40 millimeters is 46.5 millimeter. For such a substantial looking watch, those are pretty sleek numbers.
Very wearable dimensions.
Okay.
So left jig dials, what are the options?
All right, dials of distinction and some pretty cool patented markers. It debuts in 3 metals initially. Rolser and Everose Gold.
Both with white dial?
Both white dials, yep.
Yeah.
And then platinum, which gets that typical Rolex Sunray ice glue dial.
Classic platinum look. And the pattern on the dial itself.
Ah, yeah, that's very distinctive. Rolex is calling it a honeycomb or maybe flute-patterned motif. It's subtle, but it's even echoed in the counterweight on the second hand.
Oh, neat little detail.
And get this. There are also fine vertical lines applied using a femtosecond laser.
Whoa, photosecond laser. That's high tech.
Seriously precise stuff. Almost futuristic engraving.
Okay. And the markers themselves, are they the same across all models?
Not quite.
Yeah.
There's a difference if you opt for diamonds. The Everose and Platinum versions, you can get them with diamond dials and bezels.
And those have?
Stick-shaped markers.
Yeah.
Pretty standard for diamond dials. But it's the non-diamond dials where the real newness is, I think.
What's new there?
These innovative, open-design 6 and 9 numerals. They kind of remind me of vintage Rolex date wheels. It's a really nice blend of old and new aesthetics.
Open designs 6 and 9. Interesting. And the loom.
Okay, this brings us to something critical. The patented loom application. These new markers, and the others too, they're filled with chromolite, standard Rolex loom.
Right.
But what's really remarkable, and actually one of those 18 new patents, is how they cut and expose the loom.
Oh, so.
It makes the markers look open on either end, with the loom kind of visible through the sides.
Ah, so it's not just filled in, it's part of the marker structure.
Exactly. It's not just about glowing in the dark. It's an actual engineering feat. It allows for maximum glow, apparently, and gives it a totally new look.
That's fascinating. One patent just for the loom application on the markers.
Yeah. So we've talked about this stunning exterior, right? Masterful blend of heritage, cutting-edge design. But if the outside is telling a story of evolution, the inside, that screams revolution.
Okay, now we're getting to the core of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because beneath that elegant dial lies the true heart of this innovation. Remember the 18 patents?
Yeah.
16 of them. 16 are applied to the internal specs, the movement itself.
16. Wow.
That, to me, is the real story here.
That's an incredible commitment to the mechanics, especially for Rolex, right? They usually refine, tweak, not totally reinvent like this.
Exactly. This feels like a fundamental shift in how we should maybe view their innovation strategy going forward.
So this new caliber 7135, it's not just a leap. It's like a declaration.
Totally. I mean, to find something comparable, development-wise, you have to look back a decade.
Right.
To 2015 when they unveiled the Chronergy Escapement.
Right. That was big. But this feels bigger.
I think so. This isn't impulsive. It's clearly the result of like a decade of R&D and the huge news. Meet the Dynapulse Escapement system.
Dynapulse.
That's what Rolex's version of a natural escapement.
Right.
And the caliber 7135, it represents Rolex's first use of a 5 hertz movement.
Whoa, hold on. 5 hertz from Rolex.
A true high beat from the brand, yes.
Okay, that is big news. So why go high beat now? They've spent years focusing on power reserve with the 32 series movements. Does this signal a change in philosophy?
That's the key question, isn't it?
Yeah, or is there a bigger play here?
Well, it seems like a very purposeful shift, and it really boils down to one word: efficiency.
Efficiency. With a higher beat. Usually that's a trade-off.
Right, but the Dynapulse is designed specifically for incredible efficiency. They're using silicon escapement components great for anti-magnetism, we know that.
Standard now, almost.
But crucially, the architecture itself creates a rolling motion, not a sliding one.
Rolling versus sliding. Okay, explain that.
Think about it like this. Would you rather roll a heavy box across the floor on wheels or just drag it?
Roll it, obviously. Less effort.
Exactly. Wheels mean less effort, less wear, much more efficiency. That seems to be the leap here, reducing friction where it really counts in the escapement.
So they've basically taken their already precise machine and put it on hyperdrive, but made it more efficient doing it.
Huh. You could kind of say that, yeah. And then some. I mean, the whole that's the watch's internal power delivery system, basically.
Right.
It's all designed for peak performance. Energy from the mainspring goes to this large transmission wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got it.
That wheel routes the energy through two specially designed intersections. They call them sequential distribution wheels. Custom teeth Rolex design.
Okay, complex gearing.
Then this tiny, super precise traffic controller, the impulse rocker, with an impulse jewel on the balance roller, directs that energy perfectly to the oscillator, the beating heart. It's like this intricate choreography to make sure every single bit of power is used incredibly efficiently.
Wow. Okay, that's intricate stuff. And the balance system itself, what's new there?
Equally impressive. You've got a brass balance wheel, but with two microstella studs, those little timing screws for fine adjustments.
Standard Rolex fine-tuning.
Right. And then Rolex's own Siloxy hairspring. That's their silicon and silicon oxide composite, super resistant to magnetic fields, shock, temperature changes, all the good stuff.
Siloxy, yeah. We've seen that before, but maybe not in this configuration.
Perhaps not quite like this. And the balance staff itself is modified. It uses ceramic construction now and works with redesigned Paraflex shock absorbers.
Paraflex. But redesigned how?
They're calling it a double-cone internal structure, positioned at both ends of the balance staffs. The idea is really precise repositioning if the watch gets a shock.
Ah, so even better shock absorption for accuracy and durability. It makes sense for a watch maybe meant for, well, the land.
Exactly. And the results of all this engineering, pretty staggering. They're claiming a 30% increase in efficiency compared to the older 3230 calibers.
30%, that's huge.
Massive. And it still maintains Rolex's superlative chronometer accuracy, Matus 2 plus 2 seconds per day, even running at that faster 5 hertz frequency.
Impressive. And the power reserve, did that take a hit?
Still delivers a very respectable 66 hours. So significant gain in efficiency without really compromising the power reserve much at all.
That's the holy grail, isn't it? Higher performance, same or better endurance. Okay, and the 7-in-135 movement, is it totally new or based on something?
It's derived from the 71 series, the one used in the 1908 dress watch.
Ah, okay, so there's some lineage there.
Yeah. And visually, if you get to see it, the decoration is beautiful. Rolex Côte de Genève stripes across the bridges.
Nice.
Finely machined anglage edges those polished bevels. And a solid gold rotor. Oh, and another key detail. It's apparently 2 millimeters thinner than the 3230 series movements.
2 millimeters thinner. That directly explains why the watch itself feels so slim on the wrist.
Exactly. It all ties together. And here's the final, truly surprising detail that lets you see all this engineering marvel.
Don't tell me.
This is the first Rolex in steel to feature an exhibition caseback.
Get out. Really? On a steel model?
Yep. That, for Rolex, is kind of a big deal. It lets you actually witness this whole next phase of their movement manufacturing story. It's literally a window into their future.
Wow. Okay, that changes things. A steel Rolex with a display back showing off a brand new high-beat, super efficient movement.
Right. So what we've just unpacked here is a watch that's a real statement piece from Rolex.
Yeah.
It marries this unique heritage-inspired design with a totally groundbreaking patented mechanical engine.
It's definitely more than just another model, it feels like.
Yep.
Yeah, a declaration.
Yeah. It's a lot to process, isn't it? So, thinking about everything we've covered, what stands out to you most about the Land-Dweller? Is it the bold design, the revolutionary movement, or maybe the way it kind of bridges the past with where Rolex is heading?
Good question. I think connecting it to the bigger picture, history kind of shows us that the more divisive a Rolex design might seem at first.
Right, like the Daytona or something.
Exactly. The greater its potential for long-term impact, maybe even becoming iconic down the line. This watch, it doesn't feel like just another addition. It feels like Rolex is, like you said, penning a new chapter in its movement manufacturing story. This feels foundational.
Foundational, I like that. And the name, Land-Dweller. It joins that iconic family, right? Sea Dweller, Sky Dweller, even that super obscure Space Dweller.
Right. It fits the Dweller naming convention.
So considering its debut with this high-beat, super efficient movement, 18 patents, its specific place in the classics line, how do you think this watch will evolve in the coming years? Yeah, and maybe more importantly, how might it influence or even dictate the future direction for Rolex's entire range, and maybe even the wider watch industry?
That's a million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is something to mull over. Is this the blueprint for the next generation of all Rolex calibers? Could be.